Move on to the 1-3 Pittsburgh Steelers going up to take on the 3-1 Buffalo Bills, and the Pittsburgh Steelers are a 14-point underdog. Bro, that is a big number.
Yep, yep. And I am not touching that spread with a 10-foot pole or free money. I want nothing to do with this game betting wise. I think the Bills win the game. Hell, they could win by 17, Jay, and there's no problem at all. But they could also get up by 20 points and let the brakes off in the third and fourth quarter, and there's a chance of a backdoor cover with the Steelers. But in this game, the Buffalo Bills, they're dealing with a lot of injuries right now. It started off with the secondary, with Poyer and Milano, and I don't even think Tre'Davious White has been activated off of IR from his ACL injury last season, and Dane Jackson, I don't think he's been cleared to play yet. So you still have Air Elam and another rookie in that secondary, holding down the fort. And, the defensive line has been dealing with some injuries. But now you have, Isaiah McKenzie, like their number one slot guy. He's in concussion protocol. It's hopeful he's going to play this week. He was jogging off the field on Sunday against the Ravens. So, I don't think you're doing that if you're suffering from a concussion type of deal. But then, Jamison Crowder broke his ankle. He's out for, an indeterminate amount of time. Gabe Davis has been dealing with a nagging ankle injury. But with all that being said, the Steelers defense, the Steelers as a whole, rather, are 0-5 in games that, TJ Watt has not played in. I know the Steelers got that spark from Kenny Pickett coming into the lineup in the second half of that Jets game, but I think this defense of the Bills and Leslie Frazier are going to be able to take advantage of it. But there is a budding connection between Pickett and Pickens. So I think that, there's always a puncher's chance any given Sunday. That saying. But I think in this case, I think the Bills win this game outright. It might go north of 46 here, but I'm not touching the point spread of 14.
Yeah, and I think the Pittsburgh Steelers will definitely cover. I'm almost tempted to say they're gonna outright win. Like, I got a weird feeling about this game, just because the Buffalo Bills are coming off of a massive, like, huge slugfest against the Baltimore Ravens and what could be a potential AFC championship game, right? They were down 20-3 against the Baltimore Ravens. It's raining. They were all the way back, win a close game. Great for them. Now, next week after the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're playing the Chiefs as well. That's a massive game. So maybe they get caught looking forward ahead. And I do believe this Pittsburgh Steelers team is not 1-3. Like, I understand that's what their record is. It is what it is. But I think with Kenny Pickett having the first reps this week in practice, knowing he's a starter, I think we'll see a better performance out of him. Yeah, he threw 2 or 3 picks against the Jets, and his performance was a little shaky. He showed some guts. He ran for 2 touchdowns, so I did like some of the moxie he showed. But I think he will definitely have a much better showing this upcoming Sunday. Now, the one thing I am concerned about, and this is one of the few times I'm going to criticize Mike Tomlin, just because I think he completely fumbled the bag with how to start Kenny Pickett right. At the beginning of the year, he said Kenny Pickett's not playing at all. Trubisky going to be playing. We saw very early on Trubisky was pretty downright awful. The offense looked like all out of sorts. And I was pushing hard for, hopefully, that after Thursday night football game against the Browns, you have 10 days off. That's where you can give Kenny Pickett all the first team reps, and he can start against the Jets. Obviously, that didn't happen. They gave Trubisky the first team reps. He looked like ass, and they pulled him halfway through that Jets game. So now we're coming off of that game. We're going to the Bills week. I think it's looking at the schedule, like, we're going to find out very quickly what Kenny Pickett's made out of. And I think he'll be fine, just because you've got the Bills upcoming, you've got the Saints, you've got the Miami Dolphins, who are still a formidable team. You got the Eagles, who are 4-0 right after that. You got the Saints defense, and then you got the Bengals right after that. So the next 6 games are very, very good teams, and we're going to find out very quickly just how good Kenny Pickett is. But I truly believe Mike Tomlin did this kid absolutely no favors with how badly he fumbled the whole situation with the starting quarterback. And I understand how he went turned around so quickly. Like, he was so definitive in his statement before the season started that there is no way Kenny Pickett's playing this year. I'm paraphrasing here, but it was a very definitive statement about how Trubisky didn't play for the whole year. Kenny Pickett's not playing, and now 4 weeks in, he's starting Kenny Pickett. So I don't understand what happened there.
I don't understand either, and this is kind of what has blown my mind a bit with, like, the Trubisky experiment in Pittsburgh is, like, him coming out of North Carolina, like, that was always the thing, and we saw that when, he brought the Chicago Bears to the playoffs. Like, he was athletic, he was mobile, he could throw on the run, he could throw off script. And I don't know if maybe he's just like he was overthinking things, but like there's no reason why he couldn't use his legs more to keep drives alive and to keep plays alive and to give the defense something else to think about. Because when you look at the second half of the game against the New York Jets, I mean, that's what Kenny Pickett was doing. Like, he was stepping up in the pocket, and the offensive line has been brutal all year. He was stepping up, he was moving the chains, he was making plays with his legs, he fell forward for 2 touchdowns in the red zone. He got popped big time by Williams on, I believe it was it was a pass that would make it like 1st and goal to Freiermuth, and he just pops up and he's talking mad trash to Quentin Williams after he just popped him going through the A gap. I don't know why, like, Trubisky was not doing plays like that. Maybe he's just in his own head at this point in his career, but I think there is a chance that the Steelers cover this game like through the back door, but I want nothing to do with that. The Steelers team, I know we want to give all the credit in the world to Tomlin, and really Tomlin deserves a bunch of credit for what he's done with the Steelers throughout his career. But I mean, this is a bad team right now. The offensive line is a mess. Najee Harris can't really get it going.
He's been
behind this offensive line.
Big disappointment.
And this is what I was telling you leading up to the fantasy drafts when you were talking about Najee Harris. I'm like, the offensive line is bad, and he's been battling a foot injury. And this foot injury, they're not going to make a big deal out of it, but I think it's going to be nagging at him the rest of the season. Maybe he's going to get a little more work like he did last year with geriatric Ben on like the checkdowns, just because the rookie's going to lean on tight ends and the checkdowns out of the backfield. So maybe that's something to get this offense going a little bit, but against the Buffalo Bills, I don't think it's the week this week.